Welcome back. Thank you for staying with us. The National Green Party's candidate for Babonneau has received the boot in the wake of allegations that he possesses a criminal record. Arthur has described the actions of the NGP as puzzling and baffling. The party severed ties with him following a meeting on Tuesday, the 13th of July. He says this has caused him to question the legitimacy of the party. The party, for its part, has offered an explanation. More in this report.
This election season is certainly not short of unforeseen developments. The National Green Party has decided to discontinue their affiliation with their candidate for Babonneau. Former NGP candidate Devon Arthur says that the reason for his untimely release is as a result of an alleged criminal record. Arthur says that he finds the whole situation to be quite baffling as he provided the NGP leadership with a clean character certificate and further documentation that would support his claim of innocence.
Up until a day like today, I'm still puzzled as to why. They had a meeting with me. They indicated that perhaps they had received word that I had a criminal record. So, you know, I gave them information. I'm like, you know, yes, I was arrested at one time. That was actually in 2015 for misdemeanor. And I can provide a clean character certificate because there's no way that I would have been employed. I gave them my information, my curriculum vitae, stuff of that nature. And there's no way that I would have been employed if I had a conviction or criminal record. I actually hold an American visa, so there's no way that I would have been a criminal.
Campaign manager for NGP, Faye Mondesi, has offered this explanation on the matter.
Unforeseen issues arose which caused the party to rethink its strategy concerning the selection of Mr. Arthur for the seat. Apart from incoming reports relative to his character, his failure to appear at our candidate launch this past Sunday, July 11th, 2021, was another crucial factor leading to his dismissal.
Arthur says that while the NGP's mandate is centered on youth development, the manner in which he has been treated as a young person causes him to question the legitimacy of the NGP. For the Hot 7 Nightly News, Election Central, I am Karim Nelson.
A voice note has been widely circulated on social media with the incumbent MP for Vieux Fort North addressing concerns that extra names are being added to one voter's list from another voting district.
I am being told that over 200 names were added to the Belleville list from another constituency. I'm being told that that has been discovered, and the electoral department, our people, are investigating it and checking it out. We must be very vigilant. They will try everything. But we are watching, and Yopakai point election sala from nous avec no.
Meanwhile, the endorsed candidate for the United Workers' Party in that constituency has taken umbrage to the statements made, calling it an act of desperation on the part of the SLP's candidate.
Because the gentleman is on his last, basically, he's on thin ice. You know, he's running his last little race, and so he's losing badly. And as a result of that, the numbers are not on his side. So in psyching people up for the historical defeat that he is about to get, he's already poisoning people's minds. And that is typical of the St. Lucia Labour Party, the psychological warfare. So he's telling people that they're going to dump 200 with unfounded, you know, without base. They're going to dump 200 voters in L3. It's just a sign of desperation. He's losing, and so he's clutching at straws.
That was UWP candidate for Vieux Fort North, Vincent London. Meanwhile, the Electoral Commission has said that oversight is in place to address and avert any such issues. The declaration of Stevenson King to contest the elections as an independent candidate has caused many to speculate about the reasons for his decision and whether or not his plans will change when it comes to the constituency. The chairman of King's campaign team, Mark Anthony Louis, says King's plans for social development will remain the same and all constituents will receive a fair treatment regardless of where they cast their vote.
King's decision to contest the general elections as an independent candidate has undeniably caused a paradigm shift in St. Lucia's politics. The decision has caused many in the political arena to speculate about possible ulterior motives and whether or not his plans for the constituency will change. The chairman of King's campaign team, Mark Anthony Louis, says that King's plans will focus on social development and housing.
Mr. King's plans for the constituency is almost similar to what he's had while he was a serving UWP member. That is, he would love to see the community engage in what he calls social building, social reengineering. It's housing programs. He has not been too satisfied with the level of housing in his community. For example, if you go to Activille, you would see it. If you go to Agard, you would see it. The level of squatting, BZ, the level of squatting. And I could say without any fear that he has been driving and pushing to get things sorted out.
Some say doubt has been cast on whether King's political career can survive this independent run. Louis says that King's popularity has not been negatively impacted. In fact, according to him, support for King has increased.
His influence has risen. There's no doubt about it in my mind. But as I said to you, it was not because of him going as independent and Labour Party sending nobody against him. As I pointed out to you earlier, his duties as a parliamentary representative, he took it very seriously. And therefore, there was no discrimination according to color. Everybody came here. And we could tell you, when they came, we treated everybody with the same dignity, with the same feel. So naturally, if he decides that he's going to go up as an independent, and the SLP is sending no candidates, they naturally gravitate towards him. And this is what we are seeing, a gravitation towards him because of what he has been doing for them and because of being what I call a model parliamentary representative.
Louis insists that King's camp has no idea as to why the St. Lucia Labour Party has not chosen to select a candidate as yet, and vehemently denies that King's camp and SLP's camp are colluding. For the Hot 7 Nightly News, Election Central, I am Karim Nelson.
The chairman of the Organization for National Empowerment, Peter Alexander, is calling out operatives of the United Workers' Party who he says are seeking to bend the truth. According to Alexander, the statement made by SLP political leader Philip J. Pierre regarding Stevenson King joining the SLP are being misconstrued. He says the point that Pierre was trying to make was that all who oppose the Alan Shastney-led administration should join forces to unseat the administration.
Because Stevenson King, the United Workers' Party, they have lost 3 leaders. 3 leaders have left the United Workers' Party. Von Wyss, he left and he joined us. Morella Joseph left and she joined us. And now Stevenson King left and joined us. So, and I don't think many of you remember that. I'll tell you again. Von Wyss, former Prime Minister, left and he joined us. When he joined us, he said, the substance of government is on this side, our side. Morella Joseph, Dr. Morella Joseph, leader of the United Workers' Party, left them and joined us. Remember that? And now, Stevenson King, Pawen Flabo, leave them and they join us.
The statements made by SLP political leader Philip J. Pierre have fueled the debate about whether or not former UWP turned independent candidate Stevenson King has joined the ranks of the St. Lucia Labour Party. While King has vehemently denied the comments, stating that he has never applied to the SLP for membership, nor has he had any discussions with anyone in the SLP seeking membership, Pierre's comments paint a different picture. Chairman of the Organization for National Empowerment, Peter Alexander, says that Pierre's comments are merely being misconstrued and that he too is one who seeks to get rid of the Alan Shastney-led administration.
So I have my vision and my plans and everything for St. Lucia, and as a lot of you all know, I've been out there in the wilderness campaigning in whatever way, shape, form or fashion to do the right thing in St. Lucia and to bring good governance. So when I saw that, I realized that persons like myself needed to join forces
and bring all the opposition together to get rid of the Alan Shastri administration.
He says it is a trick on the part of the UWP to make it seem that Stephenson King is a member of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
I am not a member of the Labour Party, but there are a number of persons or groups who are not members of the party but are joining in the cause. So I do not see the hullabaloo that has been made about this statement. I think he made it very clear. Apart from Vaughan Lewis, who left the United Workers' Party and joined the St. Lucia Labour Party and became a member and ran as a candidate for them, Morella Joseph is a good example. She is not a member of the Labour Party, and she is there fighting with them. If you want to call it, she has joined them. I have joined them in the fight against Shastri. And there are several others who have joined. So, I mean, Mondesi, Keith Mondesi, who was a former minister in the United Workers' Party government, has also joined in the fight against Alan Shastri. But that does not mean that we are members of the St. Lucia Labour Party.
King states that his vision is beyond party, but rather a national crusade against the wrong that takes place in society: corruption, abuse of power, victimization, disrespect, and violation of the constitution of the land. Nisha Charles, Hot 7 TV, Election Central.
Will St. Lucia settle with a two-term pattern, or will the country continue along the lines of its one term in office that it has had for the past 3 elections? Pollster and political analyst Peter Wickham believes that while this election is dependent on how the UWP administration has handled the COVID-19 pandemic, leadership also plays a critical role. Wickham says that the leadership styles of both parties are being watched closely.
Observers from across the region are keeping a close eye on the evolution of St. Lucia's upcoming general elections. With the defection of Stephenson King from the United Workers' Party and the less than full slate of candidates by the St. Lucia Labour Party, the July 26 general election is one that is being closely watched. But apart from the hardships that St. Lucians have faced during this last term in office, primarily due to COVID-19, regional pollster Peter Wickham says that leadership skills will come into play. Earlier this month, Hot 7 spoke to Wickham on the issue, where he revealed that the leaders of the parties had very different styles that could cost them in the long run.
If you look at the St. Lucia Labour Party, the feeling is that Philippe Jean-Pierre is a transitional leader and that he will lead the party for as long as it takes for one of the others to present themselves. And I think that that's a perception that the St. Lucia Labour Party needs to shake off. In terms of the UWP, it's widely known that the leadership of, while Alan Shastri has not been challenged for the 5 years he's been Prime Minister, but within those ranks, there are a lot of people that would prefer Stephenson King to be leading the party. And that's also going to present an interesting dimension.
With Stephenson King no longer part of the United Workers' Party, it is left to be seen how that move will affect the outcome of this election.
The election, to me, will come down to a question of, can the UWP's record over the last 5 years, has their management of the COVID enterprise, has their management of the recent hurricane disaster that hit St. Lucia, demonstrate that they should be given another 5-year term, or alternatively, will St. Lucians feel better off if they made a change and went with a slightly well-known quantity in terms of Pierre, especially bearing in mind the fact that he has a former Prime Minister in his rank.
SLP's political leader Philip J. Pierre is expected to present his party's list of candidates Wednesday evening. Nisha Charles, Hot 7 TV, Election Central.
Stay with us, there's more news after the break.